For sure, you'll be learning so much from our next speaker. And actually, he graduated in Far Eastern University with a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics, major in Information Technology. He was actually introduced to USANA and 2009 and is now one of the Philippines top income earner, $1 million club member, and chairman of the board of Intensity International. So, friends from Indonesia, Thailand, and Philippines, let's all welcome our next speaker, Executive One-Star Diamond Director, Mr. Caleb Conrad Edpao. Hello, Caleb.
Hello, Ma'am Lisbeth. Hello, everyone. So, good morning. And medyo natuwa lang ako kasi someone chatted no, sa chat box. Pa-shout up Mr. Caleb. Okay? Shout out yata yun. Okay? So, good morning, everybody. And it's really such a blessing no, to be hearing from one of the best leaders also of USANA Philippines, who is Mentor Ryan Tan. Sobrang dami ng mga learnings. No? So I also was able to really learn so much from him. And I think that there's nothing that I could really add more to what he has actually taught you guys. No? But of course, my job this morning is to really be able to share also how I have also built our organization and the culture that we have built also in our organization. And at the same time, it's really more on the practical application of some of the principles that Ryan Tan has already shared to all of you. Okay, so let me just share my screen and share my slides. So hold on. All right, so so can you now see my slide? Okay, so again, my name is Caleb Edpao, and to those of you who are hearing me for the first time, I'll just give you a very brief introduction about myself on how I really got started with USANA. So to give you a little bit background of myself, I'm a graduate of BS Applied Math with major Information Technology from Far Eastern University. And as you would see in that photo, okay, you would already really realize that the course that I really took when I was in college was a very hard course. Okay? It really gave me a lot of stress. But of course, I was introduced to business at a very young age. I was 19 years old when I was introduced to business. So that already gave me a different perspective no, on how to really make money. Because growing up, the way I thought of really the only way I knew about making money is to go to school, get good grades, and at the same time, after that, you graduate, you find a job, and then you find a good job, and then that's the only way you make money. But when I was introduced to business, that's when I realized that there are also better opportunities, better vehicles in order for me to also be able to establish my finances. And since then, no, and I was introduced to business, I saw that for me to be able to achieve the financial success that I want for myself, business is really the way to go. So after graduating college, no, I was 19 years old, third year college when I was introduced to business. But at the age of 21, I graduated college. And after graduating from college, I pursued business right away. But of course, since I didn't have really any business, formal business education, any business background, so I really made a lot of failures, no, a lot of bad judgments when it comes to really looking at what business to really start with. So that's the reason why I got into a huge debt. And this is me during that time. So I was around 23 years old when I got into a huge debt of about 500,000 pesos. No? In US dollars, that's around 10,000 US dollars. So just try to imagine at a very young age, 23 years old, no, I didn't have a job and I was really in so much debt. So that was the lowest. Always say sometimes no, when we're put in a certain situation or a bad situation, we would call God for help, and we would ask God to really help us. And one of the things that I always remind the people that I talk to is whenever you pray to God for something, you have to really be sensitive to opportunities that is really coming your way, because the way God answers our prayers most of the time is really in a form of opportunities. And that was when the opportunity of USANA came to me. So that was 2000, and that was around November of 2008. So we've heard this announcement, this news that USANA will be opening in the Philippines January of 2009. So we really took advantage of it and got started with the business right away. So this is me. This is my day one in USANA. So that is when USANA opened here in the Philippines. So of course, now to all of you who are just starting out with the business, most of you would probably question yourself, is this business really for me? Can I really do this business? Am I really fit for this business? So sometimes some people would ask me, Caleb, what are the qualities that you're looking for in a leader? No, before you really spend so much time on a person, what are the qualities that you look for? No, in a person, in order for you to really be able to categorize that person as having so much potential in the business. So I always tell them, number one, they should really have of course, a good professional background, because if a person has a good professional background, then definitely he would have also, authority, he would have credibility. And second is he has a good communication skills, because that's really very essential in our business. And number three, that person should really have a good network. Okay, and number four, that person at least should be good looking. Okay, good pleasing personality, good looks. But as you would see, when I really got started with Usana, those are the qualities that I actually look for in a leader in our business. No? But when I was starting, I didn't have all of those qualities. I didn't have the good professional background. I wasn't really that good with regards to my communication skills. So it was only developed all through time, as I get to do this business in Usana. And I didn't have the network, because right after college, I went straight to business right away. So, and all of the network that I usually had was actually burned, because of the previous businesses that I have actually started that failed. And last is I didn't have the looks. Okay? So again, also at least this is to remind each and every one of you that if you're really questioning yourself, if you really have a potential in this business, I would always want you to be reminded of this picture of how I also got started with Usana. I wasn't really fit for this business, but I worked also on really developing myself in order for me to be fit for this business. Okay? So and this is also the famous photo with mentor Nathaniel Suño. Okay, he's also one of the leaders who have really contributed greatly to my personal development. And of course, I would like to, of course, acknowledge my direct sponsor, who is no other than mentor Billy James de la Fuente. So without this guy, I wouldn't be really where I am right now today. Okay, and this picture is really a very memorable picture, because that photo was taken when we were, I think, about 3 months in the business, so 3 months or 4 months in the business. And the reason why this is also memorable, because in this photo, one of my mentors commented. Okay, and I'll show you the comment. Okay, so his name is actually Simon Chan, no? And this is the comment he made on this photo, and he said, "Group of Usana superstars." Okay, and I want you to read that. He said that 3 years from now, you will look back and remember the days when you were just Usana babies. And you know what's really surprising about this photo? Way back 2012, one of my leaders approached me and he said, "Mentor, I'm really having goosebumps." And I asked him, "Why? Why are you having goosebumps?" And he told me, "Because I saw this photo of you and your and mentor Billy and Eman Cheng, no? And I read the comment of someone, and that was way back 2012. No? And he said the comment here is really, uh, very, what do you call this? It gave him goosebumps, right? Because he said 3 years from now, you will look back and remember the days when you were just Susanna babies. And when he showed me that photo, it was somehow exact, almost 3 years in the business. And I was already a Ruby director during that time. But this is one thing that I want to also greatly emphasize on the second comment that our mentor upline has also made on that photo. And he said, "This gang of five has a great attitude and is about to do some serious work and make things happen." No, so to all of you who are here in this business, you are already in such a great opportunity. But what we all really need to work on is to really develop ourselves and put in serious work and really start making things happen for our business. Okay? And there's a saying that if it's to be, it's up to me. All right. So that's why here sometimes when my leaders would talk to me and I would encourage them, you're going to be one of the gold directors this year, and they would say, "I hope so." Okay, in Tagalog we call it sometimes sana. Okay, the word sana, and to all the Filipinos here, they understand it, but the word sana or "I hope so," I I want you all to delete that in your vocabulary, because if you really want to become successful, you don't become successful by chance. Success is very intentional. Okay? So, given how we started in the business, but right now being 11 years in Usana, so this is what how my organization has grown. No? So, as I really checked on my DLM, there's already about 359 gold directors under my organization, 64 ruby directors, 21 emerald directors, and 20 diamond and star diamond directors. But of course, this is already the totality of all the teams that is really under my organization. There's Icon, there's Extreme 111, and of course, there's also our team, which is Intensity International. But uh, from that organization, we were also able to start our own team. And in our team right now, there's about, I think, how many diamonds we have? That's about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So we have 15 diamond directors already in our team. And there's about $9 million club members in our team. So I want all of you, to each and every one of you who are here in this Zoom training, that I know most of you would really be questioning yourself. No, will I really someday be able to build a huge organization, just as the other leaders in Usana have built? No, and I was also questioning myself a lot, that question. I would always ask myself again that question a lot when I was starting. But again, okay, the quote said, you don't need to see the whole staircase. All you need to do is just really take the first step. Okay, so just really put in your 100% focus in the business. Okay, and do the necessary things that you must in order for you to really build your business right. But of course, as we start to build our business, and our topic right now is really more about culture. And Ryan Tan has mentioned earlier, that maybe this is really too early for most of you to really be learning about. But Ma'am Duday actually has really made her point that, of course, if you really want to make massive results in this business, it's really very important that as early as now in your business, you already can see the big picture. But that's why sometimes when I do my trainings to my leaders, I always tell them, would you like me to really go straight to the point and tell you all the things that you really need to learn about this business? So at least if you see that you don't like it, then at least you will be able to save time, because you have a choice right now not to continue in the business. But even if you see that it takes a lot of responsibility, there will be a lot of uh, effort that will be required from you. There will be big sacrifices for the for all of us to put in the business for it to grow. But for as long as you know that it's worth it, at least early on in your business, you know what to anticipate, and you already know what to prepare yourself for. Okay, you know what you're really uh, uh, headed towards. No? And Simon Sinek actually said it beautifully. And he said that if you do not like the cost of leadership, then you might as well not accept the perks of leadership. Okay, so now let's continue in our team. Okay, so of course, it's really very important that even if you are just starting out your business right now, uh, you would always get to hear this from your uplines, no? you should really know your why. Okay? So you should really know your personal why. But of course, when we are going to apply this for on a team basis, though, what is also essential in every team is for the team members, the team leaders, to be able to really determine their team why. And it was one of the leaders in our organization, initiated by Mentor Lichelle Yambano. She was the one who actually greatly emphasized to us that we should really be able to determine, and it should really be clear to all of us what our team why is. And one of the materials that we used, no, in order for us to be able to come up, this might really be look very simple, no, but there's a process that we've all gone through in order for us to come up with this team why, and that is the book of Simon Sinek, Find Your Why. So I to those who already have, big teams, or start their teams, their team is really starting to grow. So this is one of the materials that I also recommend that you go through. Okay, so that you and your leaders, no, and your team will really be able to have clarity on what your team why is. So this is what we came up with, okay, and our in our team. So in every activity, in every event, in every training that we're going to create, in every decision that we're going to make now for our team, or programs that we're going to create for our team, it should always be in alignment with our team why. Okay? And what is our team why? And that is to empower individuals so together we can live a life of success with significance. Okay? And now, as we talk about culture, I, being able to also determine your team why, will really get to help in establishing your team culture. And Mentor Ryan has defined team culture earlier in his talk. Now, culture is the overall business environment defined by the shared beliefs, values, goals, practices, and outcomes of the people in an organization. Okay, so one thing that I also believe that is really very important in being able to really define your team culture, or one of the what do you call this, the fundamentals or the foundation, no, of building a culture, is really being able to set clearly also the vision of your team. Okay, and as you would see, one of the things that also, the values that Usana has as a company, okay, is, I believe, are what helps the company be able to also achieve its vision. And let us all be reminded of what the vision of our company is, and that is in line with the vision of Dr. Myron Wentz, no? And he said that he dreams, the vision of Dr. Myron Wentz is, he dreams of a world free from pain and suffering. I dream of a world free from disease. The Isana family will be the healthiest family on earth. Share my vision, love life, and live it to its fullest in happiness and in health. So that is the ultimate vision of our company. And that's the reason why when people ask me, what is the difference of Usana compared to other companies? And I would always tell them it's actually our founder. So what about your founder? Because our founder is a scientist, and this company wasn't really established for the purpose of really making money, but it is really for the cause of being able to share true health to everyone. The Isana family will be the healthiest family on earth, right? So what I did also in our team, of course, the direction of our business should also be somehow sharing in contribution to what the vision of our company also is. Okay? And that's the reason why we came up also as a team, no, with a vision for our team. And again, like what I've said earlier, it's very important that right now, as you start to build your team, okay, you are also clear about the vision of your team. And of course, we made it really very simple. It's very simple. The vision of our team, and this is something that we always communicate to our leaders, no? Because I believe this will be also the foundation that will set the uh, culture of our team. Okay? And it's as simple as, we dream of a world living the fullness of life. Okay? And we have gotten that from actually the Bible. No, it's 3 John 1:2. It says there, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. So, in short, our goal, okay, if you will come to, if you will just really try to analyze this now, since the vision of Dr. Myron Wentz is a world free from pain and suffering, the Sana family will build the healthiest family on earth. That's the reason we already have a good product. But out from the very good product that we have, no? So it's Dr. Maruman's job to really put in, he has really devoted his time to for us to really have these best products that helps people in terms of their health. But out from that products, we have a good business. No? So in short, as we now start to share Usana to people, we are not just benefiting, no? Our people are not just benefiting from Usana because of the products, or they're not just benefiting out from the products, no, for their health, but also there's a business opportunity that people can also take advantage in order for them to be able to help themselves establish their finances. And that's why, given that we now have this platform wherein we could be a blessing to a lot of people, no, in other aspects of their life. And that is why we have really come up with this vision, no? A world experiencing the fullness of life. And meaning to say, our goal is for us to be able to reach out to people, help them in terms of their health, but not just in terms of their health, help them in terms of their finances, and not just in terms of their finances, but we can also, because as we do so, we work with them, we establish this business relationship, and more than that, it develops to become, more than the business relationship, family relationship, and through that, we can also get to influence people in other aspects of their life, no? And because one of the things that I also get to be reminded of, and I've heard this from Jim Rohn, and he said, no, one of the greatest values in life is knowing that you have lived your life reaching your maximum potential. So the goal is to live life to the full. No? When we say living life to the full, it's not just in terms of your health, but in all aspects of your life. And as we have created this vision for our team, given that we have this platform in Usana, it is really becoming clear to everyone who joins our organization that this is not just really all about the money, this is not just really all about health, but this is really all about the total well-being of an individual. Okay, so we're really being able to help people in all aspects, or influence them in all aspects of their life. Okay, and Ryan Tan has also mentioned earlier that one of the things that really forms the culture of an organization or a team is really the values that they all believe in. Simon Sinek said it that people don't do business with people, or let me rephrase that. No, he said that people do business. Okay, I'll repeat. People do business with people who believe what they believe. Okay. Okay. So people do business with people who believe what they believe. And again, no, this is a disclaimer that we all have different values. Every leader has their own different values that they really believe in, or that are really very important to them, or they hold really tight or true to those values. So that's why every team would really differ. Okay? And there's no really such, like what he said, no, there's no gold standard. Every team is different, every team is unique. And if I'm going to really say this, yeah, I love the quote Dr. Dennis Waitley said. No, he said that you are the best, okay, but you are not better than the rest. If we will always, put that in mind, of course, no, we also have to remind ourselves that we are the best, but we also need to uh, remind ourselves as well that we are not better than the rest. Okay, so so every team is different. We all have different values that we really hold on, or we really believe in, that is really important to us. But I would just like to share what are the values that we also have set for our team, and what are the values that we also strongly believe in, that I believe has also helped us be able to grow our organization this big. It has really been our foundation also in the business. Okay, and most of the values are the values that we have also shared. It's what Ryan Tan has said earlier. No, there are values of Usana that we also, greatly adapted also in our team values. Okay, and number one is really also integrity. And he has already mentioned earlier about the integrity of our company, but especially in our team, we would always greatly emphasize, no, that we have to really do our business right. Francis Kong uh, reminded us before that the fastest way from from getting from point A to point B is always a straight line. Okay, so the fastest way from getting the shortest distance, now from point A to point B, is always a straight line. So he always said that build your business straight. So that's the reason why it's always something that we always remind our leaders to always do the right thing, because it is the right thing to do. So great leaders never compromise honesty and integrity by cheating. So that's why this just really happened yesterday. No, one of my leaders messaged me, and it's the same case with what mentor Ryan has shared earlier. Someone messaged him asking for this bulk order of the products, but that person is asking him to give it to him at 50% discount, something like that. And I actually reminded them, no, the leaders, to not really engage in that kind of business, because at the end of the day, it's not it's really hurting the company as a whole. And as a company, no, we have really seen how Usana has really lived up to this important values that they have set, no, for the company. And Ryan Tan has really explained earlier why this is really very important. No? So if we want to have a lasting business, if we want to really have a lasting business, we really have to lay down, no, the foundation of our business and build our business in a solid rock foundation. And that is really on building your business with integrity. Okay? And the second values that we also uh, uh, adapted, or we have set for our team, is nobility, because our team name is intensity. So that is the acronym or acrostic of IN10 and CT. Okay, so nobility. So again, we would like to create leaders that are leaders with character, because as we all know, no, we have this is really a very big opportunity that can help people earn big money. But of course, uh, we do not want money to, to land in the hands of people who would not use it in or who would not use it properly. So we would want to really create a team, no, where people or leaders would really have this good character. And according to the quote, no, it says there that there's nothing noble in being superior to someone or other person. True nobility is being superior to your previous self. So this is also what I always remind my leaders. No? So I'll give you some principles that I usually share to them. So Mentor Ryan mentioned earlier that one of the values that they really highly believe in is also respect. And I always tell this to my leaders, because sometimes we have this attitude wherein we say, you know what, I will treat you based on how you treat me. So if you respect me, then I will also respect you. Okay? But I always remind my leaders, if respect is really your value, okay, or if respect is really one of your values, then that means even if those people who don't actually deserve to be respected, but you personally believe, or respect is really one of your values, then you would still respect those people even if they are not really that respectable. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I always emphasize, this is something that I emphasize to my leaders. No, it's really more on how you treat other people, because we are in a business wherein we deal with people, right? So that's why we, if you know how to deal with people properly, no, you will really be able to attract, no, the right people also in your business. And the Bible also says it that if you do good to those who are good to you, what credit is that to you? Because even sinners do that. No, so we would like to create this kind of uh, let's say character in our leaders, that the goal is to really always be what? Be good to people. Okay? Be kind to people around you. Because we most of us, okay, especially to most of you who are building your business right now, you would probably, encounter sometimes you talk to people, they don't believe you, they will discourage you. And sometimes human nature, no, it's we want to really the way we defend ourselves is we want how do I say it? We want to get even with them, no? Na if you don't, if you're negative about this business, oh, okay, so you'll die poor or something like that. But again, it's really more on respecting the decisions of other people, and even to those people who are not really supportive of us or to us, it's just the way how we'll really, react and how we treat people, even if these are people whom we won't benefit anything from. Because there's also a saying that character is how you treat those who can do nothing for you, right? And again, of course, one of the things that I have also learned based on my experience, and I also want to share this to developing leaders in our organization, because since we get a lot of rejection sometimes and discouragement from people who are close to us, okay, we usually get to hear this a lot, no? So it says there that the best revenge is massive success, right? So whenever we get discouraged by someone, okay, or get rejected by someone, we would always just remind ourselves, okay, the best revenge is massive success. Okay. Of course, it's really, there's really some truth to this. Okay, but right now, based on my personal experience, because that was my motto before, the best revenge is massive success. But at the end of the day, there's still the word revenge. But this is really a positive way of being, of doing revenge. No, it's really not really getting back to them, but it's really focusing on yourself and developing yourself. But of course, um, like what I've said, if your motivation in the beginning, no, is really not, I would say, it's this kind of mentality or mindset is not for me a lasting kind of motivation. So this is really somehow a temporary kind of motivation, that when someone treats you badly, you will just tell yourself the best revenge is massive success. But the most important thing is this, and this is what I also remind my leaders: the best revenge at the end of the day is always what? Living well. So the best revenge is really living well. No, you don't really treat because the problem with sometimes the best revenge is massive success, but the moment you become massively successful, then you probably could become very proud, no? uh, you would get back to those people who treated you badly when you were just starting out. But again, it's not really about not just about the success that you will achieve, but it's also who you are as a person and how you also treat the people around you. Okay, so uh, and of course, we also share the values of excellence. No, so that is the number 10 in our team name. Okay, so because perfect 10, we should get a high or a perfect 10. So excellence. But of course, excellence is not just really being the best, but it's really it's knowing within yourself that you are doing your best. Okay, and we all have different, we have different timelines, we have different learning curves, right? So when we adapt the values of excellence, it's really just reminding ourselves that our goal is to really better ourselves, or the goal is to become better today than who we were yesterday. It's being able to uh, tell yourself also and know within yourself that I have become better today than what I was yesterday. Okay, and we have really we are also greatly reminding each and every one of us, and the programs that we also create for our team is really something that will really help us strive for excellence in all aspects of our life. Okay, because like I've said earlier, the vision is a world living the fullness of life. And again, it is really it's making sure that we are striving to be excellent with our health, no, with the way we also handle our finances. That's why in our team, of course, as we teach people on how to build their business and make money, but we also provide trainings on our leaders on how to be able to manage their finances properly, because that's also one of the mistakes that we've had when we were starting out in the business. We were able to really make a lot of money, but not really, you know, uh, we weren't really taught how to really handle our finances properly. And of course, it's really being able to also become excellent with regards to our relationships, spirituality, work, and leadership, the way we also do business. Okay? So, of course, in all the activities that we do, in all of the trainings that we do, in everything that we do, also in building our business and in the other aspects of our life, this is something that we all uh, greatly emphasize to everyone to keep on striving. No? We should always strive for excellence. And that's the reason why, even at our level right now, and the level of most of our leaders are in right now, of course, it's normal that some would really get to the point of being complacent. But as we get to be reminded of these values, no, of excellence, uh, it reminds us not to really settle. No, because the question is, when can we really tell ourselves that enough is enough? Because let's say, for example, you get to the point wherein you're making 1 million per month. No, some of you would say, you know what? If I only get to earn 1 million per month, that's really more than enough. Okay, but when you get to that point, how can you really tell yourself enough is enough? So I've learned this from Jim Rohn, and I always share this also to my leaders now. And Jim Rohn said, the only time you can really tell yourself enough is enough when you know that that is the best that you can. So meaning to say, with regards to income, okay, let's talk about our finances. With regards to income, if you're making 1 million pesos per month, of course, that's here in the Philippines, it's actually more than enough. But if you ask yourself, is this the best that I can? If the answer is no, then that means you shouldn't stop. Now, because the only time you can really tell yourself enough is enough is when you know that that is the best that you can. And every day is an opportunity for us to really be able to better our best. And that's why I believe all the leaders in Yusana, Ryan Tan, Nat Sunyo, Mentor Billy De La Fuente, no, and all, Eduardo Ricalde, all, Ranel, di ba? Blanco, all the leaders of Yusana also live up to this values, no? And that's the reason why everyone is still continuously engaged in the business, because we know that we can always, better our best. The kind of service that we give to our team, we can really do more. We can really, become better in supporting and helping our leaders. Okay? And of course, the fourth values that we have also incorporated in our team is community, which is also one of the core values of USANA. Okay, and this is something that I would like to also I always remind my leaders, because like what I've said, we have different teams, no? And every team is different. But sometimes it's not just really about we are the best team, or if you're not in our team, then because this could sometimes be the mindset of some people, no, that if you're not with us, you are against us, no. So that's not really totally the case, because at the end of the day, we all are different, and every team just have their own values that they really believe in. So that doesn't mean that if I'm of a different team than you, than other teams, no, we are competitors in a way, no. But we really value the community in our team, and that's the reason why we also really initiated in the whole Usana Philippines, working together. And this is one thing that I have learned from one of the great leaders also here in the Philippines, who is mentor Rob Rances. No, he is during before he was actually coaching one of our leaders, a diamond director also, mentor Camille Gliane. Okay, and during that time he was coaching Camille. Okay, but Camille, since we had this culture that we're very strict with our team, no, but Camille asked him, no, and she asked Rob Rances, why are you teaching me? Okay, why are you teaching me even if we are of a different team? No? Our teams are different, but why is it that you're teaching me this thing? So he is probably teaching him, the way he do business, or he develops his leaders. And I love what Rob Rances told Camille. And he said that, you know what, Camille, there's nothing that I'll teach you that you wouldn't be able to learn also from other people. So meaning to say, whatever it is that Rob Rances would also teach Camille is something that Camille could also learn from someone else. No? Since we now live in a world where information is really widely available. But this is what's beautiful about what Rob Rances said. He said that, Camille, no, there's nothing that I will teach you that you wouldn't be able to learn from someone else or somewhere. But since you might learn this from someone else, you might as well learn it from me. At least I have been able to win a friend. That's a very beautiful, that was a very beautiful, example. No, and we can adapt it with regards to really building a beautiful community, a healthy environment. No, because of course we are all here in Usana, and our goal is to really help each other, grow in their own business in Usana, and we want to really create that kind of environment, no, and that's why it's really important for us leaders to set that example, like Mentor Ryan has mentioned earlier. Leadership is really setting that example, no. So the reason why, if we want our leaders, so the kind of culture that we want for our leaders to also do is something that we should really, what do you call this? It's something that we should do ourselves, no. We lead by example. So that's why it has been also, when I started my business in Usana, of course, during that time, there were no teams yet. No? And that's the reason why I was able to really develop this friendship relationship with a lot of people, Ryan Tan, Bren Evangelista, no? And all the other leaders from different teams. And of course, eventually, there came a point that each and every leader has grown their own organization, wherein everyone has their own teams, no. But for me, since I was able to establish this friendship relationship with them, that was never lost. So even if we have different teams, but still that relationship of being able to really help each other out, being able to contribute, because the idea is they are my friends, no? And that's something that I want also my leaders to be able to adapt, no? And because like what Ryan Tan has mentioned, during the times when we didn't have results, there were people who helped us in growing our business. And again, this is the kind of culture that we would really want, not just for our team, no, but this is something that we are not insisting for everyone. But of course, we are all one USANA, and that's why collaboration is really very powerful. No? Again, collaborating with team members or even different teams should be taught of as a learning experience, and you should try to make the most of it. So it has really greatly also benefited as our team, because like what Ryan Tan has mentioned, no, because sometimes whenever it's really when it's our schedules are open and some leaders would really ask for our help, we, applying the principle that Rob Rances has said, there's nothing that I will teach them that they wouldn't learn from someone else, so they might as well learn it from me. At least I'll get to win a friend, no? And through that, these people whom we also get to help are those people who could also possibly help us. But of course, it's not something that we demand. We don't help people in expecting or with the expectation of getting something in return. When you help someone, you should have that genuine, desire to help them without even getting anything in return. Okay, but that genuine, like what we call service that we usually practice in our team, no, is what has helped us be able to establish a good relationship with other leaders from other teams, which is in return, they also get to help us whenever we also need help for our team. Okay? And this is really very powerful. No, collaboration right now, and as you would notice, all brands right now or big companies right now are also collaborating with one another in order for them to really grow more their business. Okay, and last is really trust. Okay, one of the values that we hold tightly in our team, because trust is the is the fundamental. No, trust is fundamental to building a sense of autonomy. So what is autonomy? So autonomy, it means allowing leaders to shape their work environment so that they can perform to the best of their ability. So we're almost the same with Ryan, no? Na what I want my or our leaders, or what I want the culture for our team is not really to follow there's this secret recipe, and this is the only system that is really effective and that really works, no. I believe we also believe in diversity, because uh, uh, this is my idea in building my organization, no? I know the time will come if the leaders in my organization, the moment they really step up to become, great leaders and eventually would take charge of their own organization, they would be able to probably grow their team than, bigger than how I was able to really build my own team, right? So, meaning to say, there's a possibility that my leaders would eventually someday build their own teams as well. No. I remember this from one of my mentors, and he asked me, he said, Caleb, okay, if you have a leader who wants to build his own team, will you stop him? And I was really thinking about that time. No? I said, no, but the way I answered that question is with a question mark as well. No. And he told me, you cannot do that, because if you stop them, it's as if you're stopping them to become like you. You're hindering their growth, because the moment they really want to take charge of their business, no, that's when you really set them free. Okay, give them the freedom or the opportunity for them to really develop themselves more, no, take charge and increase their sense of leadership and responsibility in building their own team. That's the reason why culture is very important, because for me right now, it's not really more about the team that is really it's not really about the team name, the most important thing here is the culture that you will be able to pass on to generation and generation to generation of leaders. And one thing that I see in the future is time will come. There will be, different teams in organization. But one thing that has been really greatly passed on from generation to generation of leaders is the culture that we have set for our team, which is, I believe, is something that is really going to last. No, and one thing that I remind always my leaders is this: time will come, you will not really be in full control totally of your business, because there you will have leaders who will eventually take charge of their own team. No, but as they do, no, this is how I envision it. Let's say someone is walking around and he sees a leader build the way how he builds his team, and he would say, you know what, you're from Usana. How long have you been in Usana? 1 year. Oh, so who are your mentors? Who are your uplines? And the moment they tell about their lineage or lineage, no, in the business, that person would be able to say, oh, no wonder why. When we say, oh, when you get that reaction, oh, no wonder why, it means, oh, no wonder why. That's how you are. That's how professional you are. That's how great of a leader you are, because what they see is the values that people have also incorporated in building their business. And for me, it's not really more about just the team, but it's really more about the values that we get to pass on to generations of our leaders. Okay, so that's why in our team, I always remind our leaders, no, we do not want to create fanatics. No, we do not want to create people who are just really going to be fans and fanatics about, like for example, the achievements also of our team. But what we want to create is leaders. Now, we do not want to create fanatics, but we want to create leaders who will make positive impact also in the lives of others. Okay? So, of course, no, with those values, there are certain principles that we usually live by. And like what I always give so much emphasis on is this: you should live really by principle. That's why as an individual, as a leader, you should really be, as a person, no, as a leader, you should be very clear first of all with what are your personal values, what are the principles that you also believe in, no? And the way you really would decide for yourself, and also the way you would decide for your business, would always be, or should always be, in alignment to the principles that you believe in, to the values that you believe in, and never compromise. Okay? And it's written here, it says there that rules appear when the principles are not very clear. That's why in our team, we would always focus all the time on principles that we are really being able to exercise, and principles that we are being able to really pass on to our leaders. Okay, when working under rules is a source of stress, but of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't have rules, but of course, it's okay to have rules, but it's much better, no, to be working under principles, because it's natural and it actually requires no effort. Okay, and again, like what Ryan Tan has mentioned, no, culture is not something that is really being built overnight. It really takes a lot of time, no, and of course, culture is not really caught, no. Culture is not really being taught, but it's actually being caught, and that's the reason why it takes time. Because us leaders should be the ones who should really be doing, no, what we want our leaders to do. The culture that we want to establish in our team is something that we all as leaders should also be performing, or we should really be living by. Okay, and culture is reinforced, and it is also not announced. And one of the part of our culture that we also want to build in our team, we want to, it should be part of our culture that everyone should really be hardworking and Ryan Tan has mentioned this earlier, no? He said the three key realizations in establishing their organization or building their organization. He said about number one, personal development and immersion, leadership, and of course, last is culture. And I would like to, he has already explained this earlier, but this is something when we focus about leadership, this is something that I also always emphasize on my leaders because the word success has three S's. And I believe all of us here wants to really become successful, okay? And if you want to become successful, always remember the three S's of success. Okay? Success has three S's. And what are those three S's? The first is skills. No? And Ryan Tan has also shared it earlier that we really need to develop the necessary skills that we need to also be able to build our business. But for me, skills is very important because it also adds up to our confidence. No? The more you acquire the necessary skills on how to really grow your business, you become more confident and you start really seeing yourself now, yeah, I can do this. I can really get to make this business work. But of course, the moment you already have the skill, okay, the next thing that you should really do is really what? Use whatever skill you have to be of service to your people. Always remember, service to many leads to greatness. Okay, and in our team, we practice that whatever strength you have, whatever skill you have that you can offer, no, to really help the team grow. Okay, just really put it out there. No, give your genuine service and because service is also what builds respect. Because if you want to really develop leaders, okay, Ryan Tan has mentioned it also earlier, you should really focus on developing yourself first. No, you want to develop leaders. Before you do, you develop yourself first, because as you go through the process, you would realize how is it to really now develop leaders. No? Because you have gone through the process of developing yourself first. And for me, one way that really strengthens your influence as a leader, because leadership is really all about influence as well, no? One thing that really strengthens our influence over people is number one, if they see that you have the skills, so you will be able to earn, their confidence to also believe you or trust you. Okay, and the service that you give to them builds respect, and again, of course, that increases again your influence over them. And as you keep on giving service to your downlines, that eventually over time will compound, will produce what? Results, which will give you your income, which is salary, no? So that at least it would also be an S, okay? So the dollars or your salary, which is results. But always remember that your results in USANA will always just be a validation of your skills and the service that you give to your people. Okay? So again, if you all really want to build a solid culture, okay, it's something that we don't really get to build overnight, but it's through consistency. Consistency of really living out to the values that you believe in or your team have set for your organization. Okay? And of course, in doing so, it's very important that we should always be clear about our goal. No? So what is your team goal? Because I would like to just share, because this is something that also excites everyone in our organization. No? So we have this goal by 2024 to really create 100 new executive diamond directors, 200 new executive emerald directors, 300 executive ruby directors, and 400 executive gold directors, new gold directors starting today. So to all of you there who are starting out your business right now, I believe to those who have qualified to this training are believers, I think, no? Believers or builders and above. I want you to really start your business, of course, setting clearly the values that you also believe in, the things that we have discussed, but also be clear about the vision for your team. And of course, you should also be clear with the goal that you want for your team. it's not impossible, no? Les Brown said it, that most people fail in life, it's not because they aim too high and they miss. The reason why people fail in life, it's because they aim too low and they hit. And there's really power in setting your goals and in writing down your goals. And I challenge all of you to really start setting big goals for yourself. So looking forward to really seeing a lot of you become massively successful also in USANA. But of course, let's all be reminded that it's better that a lot of us will become successful, and we will also be able to create this harmonious and happy environment also and relationship between all of us leaders here within our company. So I pray that all of you will really become successful, because one of our goals and then the vision of our team is we dream of a world living the fullness of life. And I hope that you all will be able to live the fullness of life. So let me be the first to also greet all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So God bless you all. And thank you, USANA, for giving us this opportunity to be able to share our experience also for the whole USANA Philippines and international. So God bless you all.
Man, thank you very much, Caleb, no, for that was very informative. I know all of our attendees here, no, learned a lot from what you have shared, and all of us this morning, most especially on the application of team culture. So thank you for generously sharing the culture that you actually apply in your organization. That was really very helpful to everybody. And now, before we end this morning's Sustaining Momentum series, let's hear some words from our Regional Vice President for Philippines, Indonesia, and Thailand. May we call on Miss Duday Gaston. Good morning, Ma'am Duday.
Thank you for the time that you have spent with us, and most especially our speakers for the time that training. We have series of meeting even before on, and they were attending meetings on time, and we were prepared, and we chose speakers that are very experienced on this topic. Ryan Tan, who has built his own team from scratch. Okay, who have already now have a big team also. Again, so it's really these people have moved from their team, have branched out from their team, have break away and then built their own team, and they're equally successful now. So we are thankful for them, their experiences, and what they went through to be able to put a really good training program for all of you. So we were able to learn that as I look back, I would see the culture principle that Ryan Tan is especially building culture, owning your own success, leadership that starts from within yourself. Okay, so